Ted Lasso Season 3, Episode 12, effectively concluded the journeys of the show's characters, addressing their emotional arcs and overarching storylines. Nonetheless, despite this satisfying resolution, a few lingering questions remain unanswered. Given the extensive ensemble cast of Ted Lasso, it was inevitable that not every fan inquiry could be addressed in the finale. While the major queries were mostly resolved, including the future paths of Ted Lasso, Rebecca, Roy Kent, and others, there are still some ambiguous aspects that require clarification. As the third season of Ted Lasso draws to a close, discussions naturally arise regarding the potential for a fourth season. Consequently, some of these unresolved questions might form the foundation for future narratives within Ted Lasso's world. In this video, we are going to delve into Ted Lasso Season 3's 10 shocking questions. Have Ted Lasso and his wife reconciled? Ted Lasso's narrative was initially sparked by the dissolution of his marriage to Michelle, an event that left him shattered. This led Ted to embark on his journey to England, where he eventually realized his mistakes in Season 3 and made an effort to spend more quality time with his son. While the show clarified that Michelle had fallen out of love with Ted, certain indications in Ted Lasso Season 3 hinted at the possibility of a reconciliation between the former couple. Throughout the season, Michelle's new boyfriend appeared to distance himself from her and her son Henry. Additionally, there were fleeting moments of longing glances after interactions with Ted, suggesting that Michelle might have been regretting her decision to divorce him. However, Ted Lasso, Season 3, Episode 12, refrained from providing a definitive answer regarding whether Ted and his ex-wife reconciled. This decision could be seen as a strength of the series, as it upheld the show's commitment to portraying realistic themes, including love. By leaving this question unanswered, the show avoided undermining its core premise and instead allowed the finale to concentrate on the relationship between Ted and Henry. Has Rebecca officially become a mother? In Ted Lasso Season 3, one of the subplots revolved around Rebecca's pursuit of love and fulfillment in her life. Following her divorce from Rupert and the end of her relationship with Sam, Rebecca explored the possibility of becoming a mother. The season concluded with Rebecca reuniting with her enigmatic lover from Amsterdam, portrayed by Matteo van der Grin. While it was evident that they had become a couple by the end of Episode 12, Ted Lasso Season 3 did not explicitly confirm whether Rebecca became a mother. However, considering Matteo van der Grin's character already has a daughter, it can be inferred that Rebecca's desire to have children was fulfilled in some way or another. Has Keeley reconciled with Roy or Jamie? The finale of Ted Lasso Season 3 introduced a storyline involving Roy, Jamie, and Keeley, focusing on the question of which of the two former individuals Keeley would reunite with. While the show did not explicitly provide an answer, it appears that the resolution is subtly implied. Following a brief fistfight between Roy and Jamie, they both show up at Keeley's doorstep, urging her to make a choice. However, Keeley's subsequent act of kicking them out strongly suggests that she will not reconcile with either Roy or Jamie. Ted Lasso Season 3 has afforded Keeley an independent narrative that does not hinge on her relationship with Roy or Jamie. This outcome aligns better with the development of her character. Throughout Seasons 1 and 2, Keeley often found herself overshadowed by her respective partners. However, Season 3 granted her a distinct storyline. Furthermore, the episode's conclusion hinted at her involvement with the AFC Richmond women's team, indicating that Keeley's romantic reconciliation with either Roy or Jamie was not a relevant question to be answered. How did Sam end up joining the Nigerian national team? In the finale of Ted Lasso Season 3, Sam's journey culminated in him finally playing for the Nigerian national team. However, the series did not explicitly address how he managed to overcome the obstacles posed by Edwin Akufo, who previously blocked Sam's entry into Nigeria's team by resorting to bribery. The explanation lies in the fact that Akufo's credibility in the football world has likely suffered a significant blow. During Ted Lasso Season 3, Akufo's unsuccessful attempt to establish a Super League was thwarted by Rebecca, who appealed to other football club owners and reminded them of their shared love for the game. This resulted in Akufo throwing a tantrum and causing a messy scene, which could have potentially been leaked to the press. Such an incident would have tarnished Akufo's reputation and diminished his influence and power. Furthermore, Sam's activism for Nigeria throughout the show, coupled with Akufo's diminishing stature, might have played a role in Sam ultimately realizing his dream of representing his country. By aligning Sam's dedication to his activism and Akufo's diminishing credibility, the series indirectly suggests that Sam managed to overcome the obstacles and secure his place in the Nigerian national team. Why was Ted absent from Coach Beard's wedding? One of the prominent inquiries arising after the conclusion of Ted Lasso Season 3 is the absence of Ted at Coach Beard's wedding. The show implied that Beard's wedding took place shortly after Ted's departure for Kansas, which explains Ted's absence. Beard and Jane have been portrayed as spontaneous individuals, so the notion of having a wedding just a few days after Ted's departure is within the realm of possibility. Considering Ted's need to settle back into life in the USA, it is likely that he simply did not have the time to attend Beard's wedding, despite their deep friendship and mutual affection. Alternatively, the wedding sequence featuring Coach Beard and Stonehenge may have been part of a dream that Ted had while on the plane back to Kansas City. The surreal aesthetic and Ted's absence from that particular montage could suggest that it was all a product of Ted's imagination. Nevertheless, it is still peculiar for Ted not to be present on his best friend's special day, even if it was merely a dream. Why Dr. Sharon Fieldstone returned to AFC Richmond? In the concluding moments of Ted Lasso Season 3, Roy finds himself engaged in a conversation with Sharon Fieldstone, who re-emerged in Richmond as the team's advocate for mental well-being. Though the specific reason for her return remains undisclosed, the season finale provides a potential clue. As the camera pans, we witness Sharon intently observing Richmond's last game of the season, becoming deeply invested in its outcome. This, coupled with her cherished memories of collaborating with the club in Ted Lasso Season 2, likely prompted her realization that returning would serve the best interests of both herself and the team. In Ted Lasso Season 3, one of the significant storylines revolved around Trent Crimm and his book centered on AFC Richmond. Initially titled The Lasso Way, the book underwent a transformation into The Richmond Way at Ted's insistence, highlighting that the team's success was not solely attributed to him. Now the question arises about Trent's future after completing the book. With his talents, Trent could pursue a career as a writer, potentially penning a sequel that explores Richmond's European adventures. Alternatively, considering his understanding of the press and similar situations, he might find a place at Keeley's PR firm, utilizing his expertise in media relations. What's going to happen with AFC Richmond? In the Season 3 finale of Ted Lasso, the future of AFC Richmond is subtly addressed. Throughout the episode, there are subtle mentions of the Champions League. The Champions League is renowned as Europe's most prestigious football tournament, where the top teams from various European countries compete to determine the continent's best team. Despite not securing victory in the Premier League, Richmond managed to qualify for this esteemed competition. This implies that the squad will be participating in a thrilling European tournament in the upcoming season. Is there a possibility of Ted Lasso returning to Richmond? One lingering question arising from Ted Lasso Season 3 is whether Ted will eventually make a comeback to Richmond. Throughout the season, Ted's resolve appeared firm, with little inclination to reconsider his decision. However, there remains a possibility that Ted might return to the team once Henry grows older. It is not uncommon for managers to rejoin their former football clubs, and Ted could follow suit in the future. Such a return may occur several years later, allowing for a satisfying conclusion to Ted's story while granting the show's cast and crew a well-deserved break to pursue other projects. Are there going to be any Ted Lasso spin-offs? Following the conclusion of Ted Lasso Season 3, there exists the potential for an intriguing spin-off. The final scene featuring Keeley and Rebecca hinted at the possibility of establishing a women's team at AFC Richmond. Considering the increasing popularity of women's football in the UK, particularly following the victory of the women's national team in the UEFA European Championship of 2022, a spin-off focusing on a female team at Richmond becomes a plausible idea. This would allow the show to carry on in the spirit of Ted Lasso, while introducing a fresh ensemble cast and an entirely new narrative that pays homage to the original series conclusion. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe so you never miss our upcoming videos.